Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Every time. Guns up.
I'm getting a little faster. I'm starting to see ourselves a little quicker after the intro. It's nice.
Yeah? It's doing okay over
Not
there
lagging.
in Wood Panelingville there? You're having a good time
Right.
there with that mystery light switch behind you? Aren't there two of
Absolutely.
them back there on the wall? You got two on the wall, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The other one is over on that side.
Right.
That's
Like
the
one
only
is
one that works though. This one doesn't do anything. Like I can flip it
oh
back and
sure
forth.
it does. It's like that old joke.
Right? Like I
Stephen
just
Wright
switch it off and then my whole house turns off. That would have been scary.
it's just a black hole opens.
Mm-hmm. Well, if
There's a
anything, I mean,
Stephen.
this whole picture right here is hiding an entire door to nothing. So the door is actually closed off, and I'm on the second story. So if I actually open that door, it would lead me to like a death fall, kind of like that haunted house.
That haunted house? Which one?
That one where the house with all like the doors to nowhere.
Oh, the Winchester
Yeah.
mansion. Yeah, I've been to that. I've seen that before. That's some
Have you?
crazy stuff. Yeah, we went when I lived in LA, we me and some buddies we went up there and we were staying somewhere. I can't remember the little town we were in. It was where the Madonna Inn is, and no, I don't know, no relation to the singer. It was just like really cool, kitschy hotel rooms and stuff. But we went and saw. We went to the Winchester Mansion, and yeah, it looks like some MC Escher stuff, like stairs that go up, but they don't go anywhere, and then there's hallways to nowhere and stuff.
So cool. I want to go.
Redunculous. Yeah, apparently that place is haunted too. So
yeah, yep. Absolutely.
From what I hear, maybe that light switch. See, there's an old Stephen Wright joke. He said, I have found this light switch and I kept switching it on and off and it didn't do anything. And he said a month later, he got a letter from a lady in Germany who said, cut it out. So that's what.
Hello, Germany.
That's what mystery switches do. It's somewhere halfway across the world. Tick, 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 tick. Und why is he messing with the lights again? That's my irate German voice. Hello, right. Dolores. Hello, Morning. Anna and Kay. We got Amberly's here. People are starting to filter in. There's a cat. Which cat is that?
The pregnant one.
Oh, that's right.
She's ready.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be so cute. You're gonna have them little. She's gonna have them little jelly kittens. And then when they come out, they're all covered in the goo and stuff. And I always say they look like jelly kittens. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, you know, the little creature thing.
I know. Anyway. I had to go and buy her own little bed and a blanket and some towels just to make sure everything's prepped and ready to go. So, bleh.
Lana knows about it. The Pink Palace Madonna Inn. Is that what they call it? Why they call it the Pink Palace? I didn't know that.
That's cool. Because it's pink. Yeah.
But it was really fun. It was like a whole bunch of us. We stayed there. Just got smoked a lot of weed, and they had like a fireplace in there too. It was really nice. Mm-hmm. I want to go back someday in the future when we have flying cars.
Bothering you guys either. I got the chickens next door loud.
The chickens? I don't hear chickens.
You don't hear?
I hear a very faint cluck.
Yeah.
You know, on my brand new, not really brand new, but sort of new show, Secret Show. You know,
yes.
I feature chicken.
I'm only there.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't think the chickens would be. Oh, coin! Somebody showing off the goodies.
You are a lady. Act like it. Jesus Christ, she's pregnant. Like, what the hell? You can't get any worse.
She's like, check it out, y'all. That's my money maker. I call it a coin because it looks like a penny. And it's like, I know this guy and he had a cat and the cat would stick his tail up and walk by. I said, no, your money's no good here. Your money's no good here.
It's ridiculous. I don't even know what that was about.
That cat's showing it off. She said,
I fucking hate
3
live
shows
TV
a week.
sometimes.
3 shows a week at the Copa.
And she's over here like licking it too. So like she's just going at it. I'm just ignoring that right now. She's just doing her
She's
own little
polishing
thing
the
right there.
coins. She's keeping her coin collection clean. You know,
If she starts having her babies right now, I'm gonna freak out.
They might. What if she did? What if she did start having the
God.
kittens now? You'd have to like.
I know. While I'm telling the news, like
You got your little midwife outfit on. You know, you got like a surgical mask and gloves. And you're like, 10 cc's of Aunt Beppy stat.
God.
Zzz, shh, zzz. We're losing her. Oh, there we go. All right, you know,
fun?
I'm just quoting every medical show thing I can think of. Anyway, I think we have to do news, unfortunately, and it's really hard to segue from comedy gold to tragedy, but we're gonna have to do that, I guess. So there was let me just put this up here. Overnight, I believe, in America, but this was over in Israel. A reporter for Al Jazeera has been killed, and apparently by Israeli gunfire. So Israeli forces shot Abu Akla in the head while she was on assignment in Jenin in the occupied West Bank. So here's the video on it from Al Jazeera, and let's take a listen.
We made ourselves clear to the army and the passers-by, indicating that we are the press. Then within seconds, there was the first shot. I told them that we are being targeted, we are being shot at. I turned and found Shireen on the ground. I found Shata shielding herself by a tree and screaming. I turned and found Shireen on the ground in the first few seconds with the shooting, and we were telling each other that we were being shot at. The shooting continued for more than 3 minutes on the teams that were there.
هذه المسيرة هي المسيرة 25 إحياء لذكرى النكبة، فيما يحتفل الإسرائيليون في ذكرى تأسيس إسرائيل، يحيي الفلسطينيون ذكرى نكبتهم.
We were going to film the Israeli army operation, and suddenly they shot us without asking us to leave or stop filming. The first bullet hit me, and the second bullet hit Shireen. They killed her in cold blood because they are killers and specialize in killing only Palestinian people.
So they claimed that some Palestinian militants were there.
We had no resistance, and there was no Palestinian military resistance at all at the scene.
Killing journalists, shooting the messenger is equivalent to a war crime. So we need to know what has happened. The world needs to know what has happened.
It has been shown that, Israeli forces kill Palestinians, including Palestinian journalists, without cause in the occupied territory. And it's very extremely rare that Israeli soldiers, captains, or military officials are ever held accountable for their actions. So it's ironic that the foreign minister says that journalists must be protected when you're talking about journalism in Palestine. Israel is the biggest perpetrator of crimes against journalists in the West Bank.
So yeah, it's a kind of a similarity to here in the United States, where police here are rarely held to account as well for their actions. Um, so maybe we can get a little bit more into this.
Or anyone high up in America, wanting to even harm journalists like, Julian Assange and stuff. We're not doing anything better.
Yeah, freedom of the press just seems to be lip service at this point. Because if we're not taking care of protecting journalists, or not shooting them, what does that say? I mean, a lot of times these things that happen are intimidation tactics that authorities and officials use in order to make sure that certain things don't get reported in the press. And as they said, there was no Palestinians fighters present in the area, so why were they shooting? That's another question.
Yeah, especially with the size of those press badges they had on there. It covered up their entire top of their shirt. It was huge, white, said press. You can't miss that kind of stuff. Even like they were saying with the sniper, definitely shouldn't be able to miss the press saying on the shirt.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like it was hidden at all. On there.
But this is what This is what Israeli forces are doing. They're getting away with, this is just them getting in trouble finally for killing a journalist. I mean, they're killing Palestinians and, ruining their lives every day.
Abu Akla is the 12th Al Jazeera journalist to be killed on the job too, since '96 when they launched. So these journalists who go out in the field like that are facing dangers anyway. Without something like this happening too. And of course, Palestinians are crying foul because they've seen this so many times themselves. Despite numerous calls for a thorough investigation into her killing, Al Jazeera's Nida Ibrahim said that the Palestinians she's spoken to do not believe that there will be accountability. And like I said, you see the similarities here in the United States with our police. Now, the U.S. State Department says they're calling for an immediate, thorough investigation, and so are the Israelis. But we've seen that movie before too. U.S. Department of State spokesman Ned Price has condemned the killing and called for an immediate and thorough investigation. In a tweet, he said, "We're heartbroken by and strongly condemn the killing of American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh in the West Bank." So interesting that we hear from Ned Price, seeing how it is an American journalist who was working for Al Jazeera. The investigation must be immediate and thorough, and those responsible must be held accountable. Her death is an affront to media freedom everywhere. So, and the U.S. ambassador to the UN called for a transparent investigation as well. U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, has called for transparent investigation into the killing. Speaking to reporters, she said it was really, really horrifying. She was well respected. She was doing her job, the jobs that you all do every single day, meaning the press. And I just want to express my condolences to her family, her friends, and colleagues. We have to ensure that we get to the bottom of her killing. And as they said, the Israeli army is not taking responsibility for it, claiming they don't know who fired the bullet.
Right, and that it was likely a Palestinian gunman. Jesus Christ.
Right, with no Palestinians in the area, yet it was a Palestinian gunman that did this. So at this stage, we cannot determine by whose fire she was harmed, and we regret her death. So and
during a raid, they said, wasn't it during like an Israeli army raid? So
it was all Israelis.
Yeah, Israeli forces. So there you go.
Yeah,
there's like
you had the You had the forces there, and you had the press there, who were clearly marked press. And one person gets shot in the face, killed. Another person gets shot in the back.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
Who's admitting it was the Israelis? Like, you didn't do, or Israeli army forces. You didn't do your job. If that was to, kill them so they wouldn't they wouldn't say anything. You left one alive, and now you're in trouble.
Right. And we
Yep.
like Robert here says we have journalists attacked here in this country too.
Yep.
Several were attacked during the George Floyd protests. I remember that. Yeah, I think, and Ali Veshy from MSNBC, he was one of them as well. So,
right.
I think this particular one, this could possibly, I mean, it's just my opinion, but this could possibly be a tipping point for this kind of violence against journalism, particularly against journalists in Palestine who are covering this. And the Israelis have grown more and more impatient as far as the coverage that the negative press that they are getting consistently, not necessarily from the mainstream media who are always going to protect Israel at any cost, but more and more independent journalists and voices are coming out of the woodwork and denouncing what Israel is doing to these people. Thousands have gathered in the occupied West Bank city of Ramallah to honor Abu Akla as her body arrived in an ambulance from Nablus. Friends and colleagues and family members gathered in front of Al Jazeera's offices upon the arrival of her body. Nida Ibrahim said, we could see the bodies being taken out of the ambulance to enter here at the small room, the ground floor of HA's offices. And we're hearing crowds chanting slogans in defiance, saying, "We will fight for Shireen." So,
good.
I don't know, man.
Well, let's just hope this isn't another story down the drain,
Right. I mean, you gotta wonder though how desensitized people are to news like this now, right? You had the dude who set himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court, and hardly anybody said a word about that. That was over environmental issues, but this was someone who was shot in the face, a journalist who was not instigating any sort of violence towards themselves, and it happened, right? I mean, how far is this going to push our relationship with Israel that we keep, not condoning, but allowing these things to happen without any sort of punishment involved, So, we're still going to send them aid. We're still going to send them money for weapons. That's just what we do. And if you say anything against that, then you're labeled an anti-Semite or something like that, when all you're really saying is, no, it's not, it has nothing to do with that. We're talking about the government doing these things and making these things happen. So
right, that's what makes it so hard to talk about it on the news too. Like even us just talking about it now, there's gonna or other people talking about it, somebody's gonna call someone an anti-Semite just even covering this. And it's not even about the religion, it's about their government, what their government is doing. You don't see the Jewish community in New York raising up arms in a military and stuff. You just don't see that. This is a government, like a legit government, that is doing this. So that's how people need to separate it. But I don't know. People probably just don't want to see it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of times people, when you judge certain places, you tend to lump everybody together. You tend to lump the government with the people.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for every single Israeli citizen over there, but I'm sure not all of them condone this kind of treatment of people like that. But you got to remember too, the Israelis have been bombarded with all kinds of propaganda, just like we have in the States. About the Palestinians and how the evil Palestinians and all this stuff. It's you know,
Yeah.
it's you have to be able to get past the propaganda and get to the truth. That's why I always say, like, the mainstream media is just garbage. You know,
Yeah.
you have more and more independent news outlets out there who are doing the work and are getting spit on figuratively, sometimes literally, by those who help prop up the mainstream media. So, you know, that's why you have
Mhm.
to support independent news, support
Yep.
those people, spread the word to your mainstream media watching buddies that, look, you're not getting the full poop here. You got to
Right.
check out these other sources.
Yep.
Um,
Al Jazeera, they're not a bad company. I mean, they're really good news company.
yeah, they are. And you know, they're worldwide, and they have done some excellent reporting, you know, since their inception, 26 years ago. So a little over 25 years they've been in this business. So, and they've, you know, and when 9/11 came along, and there was this big push for hate against Muslims, you know, they were one of the first ones to be attacked, you know. So this isn't something new for them. It's you know, something that's been ongoing for them, but yet they've still persevered. And as long as you keep telling the truth, um, you know, yeah, you might get punished for it, but you know, your soul's still intact,
That's
and
right.
people remember that you did tell the truth for them. So,
Hmm.
um,
And,
so
and once in a blue moon, good things come out of it, you know, like with the John Kiriakou thing. You know, he might have went to prison, but waterboarding is illegal now.
right, so, but you know, who knows what goes on at those black sites, but at least they made some effort to you know, it got sunshine, you know. And whereas like a lot of stuff from, you know, the Iraq war and from Afghanistan didn't, and it wouldn't, and we wouldn't know half the stuff we know now if it weren't for these independent journalists. So
Absolutely.
we this next story really kind of disgusts me, as someone who lives in New York, and who has an affinity for elderly people. You know, it's this lady. Okay, so let me just put this up here. Um, New York event planner charged with fatally shoving an elderly woman, sent back to jail. So initially, let me see if I can get down to the meat of this first. So what happened was this lady, and her name is what's her name? I thought I saw it here. Oh, Lauren Pacienza. Is 26-year-old event planner. What had happened was one evening. See when we get down to it. She drank several glasses of wine with her fiance uh, while they were touring some art galleries here in New York, celebrating 100 days until their wedding. They went to several art galleries in Chelsea, and where the defendant, um, they had went to a food cart and got a meal, and they went to Chelsea Park, a block away from the assault. Um, as the defendant was eating, a male park employee came up and told her that she would have to leave because the park was closing soon. The defendant became angry, started shouting and cursing at the park employee, threw her food onto her fiance, and stormed out of the park. Pazienza then walked over to West 28th Street near 8th Avenue, where she allegedly encountered this lady. She was a voice coach. Barbara Mayer Gustern, 87 years old. McNaby said the dying woman's account to witnesses would prove crucial in piecing together what occurred during the brief, deadly interaction. Um, So we know from Miss Gustern's own description of the assault given to her friend minutes after that the defendant ran across the street directly towards Miss Gustern, called her a bitch, and pushed her as hard as Miss Gustern had ever been hit in her life. Prosecutor said a cyclist who witnessed the shove told authorities he saw Pazienda push Gustern, who was like 4'11", weighed less than 100 pounds, so forcefully that Miss Gustern fell in an arc, falling directly on her head. She was rushed to the hospital with a head wound and died 5 days later. So this story updates that she originally was given $500,000 bail, and was allowed to leave, but they revoked the bail yesterday after all these other details had come out about that. So, like I said, this kind of thing. And she's being charged with manslaughter. She's not being charged with murder, I think. I just want to make sure of that. I think, yeah, it was manslaughter. So she's being charged with that. And I mean, that's not the only case of, what goes on here in New York. In recent years, particularly since the pandemic started, there was a lot of cases of the elderly getting attacked in Queens, some in Bronx, Upper West Side, Upper Manhattan, and it's just terrible, that people are just losing their shit over this, and taking it out on the elderly like that,
Yeah. It's just that entitlement of people. They think they're the king of or queen of their own little bubble and nobody else matters, or everybody thinks that they're the main character in a movie. So that's the problem, is the entitlement of humankind right now. So
yeah, it does. It's people just kind of so self-absorbed. I mean, New Yorkers are kind of self-absorbed anyway. A lot of things happen. That kind of goes without saying. And because that's always going to be, everybody's got their own thing, their own hustle that they're doing, trying to do what they can. But this is just like, this poor little lady didn't provoke her. Apparently didn't provoke her. No, the witnesses said she did. This lady was so cheesed off because that her little princess ass was told no about something, like, no, you can't stay in this park anymore, you have to leave.
Exactly.
And ends up killing somebody that night.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well,
she was a lunatic.
Yeah, she gets what she
She's
deserves. I mean, she's going to jail for manslaughter now. Like, good luck on your wedding day.
I know, right? 100 days. I mean,
she's gonna do at least 100 days in jail. I mean,
the story goes on to tell too. Yeah, I know, right? The story goes on to say she got into it with her fiance. Didn't even tell him at first what happened, but then eventually she said, "Oh yeah, I shoved this lady," and then they found out she found out the lady died, so she was hiding out on Long Island at like an aunt's house or something like that, and I'm not sure if she turned herself in or if they picked her up or how that worked.
Like,
but
threw the food on her fiance as well. Like, to me, if anything, he dodged a bullet.
yeah, this was like when she got told you got to leave the park. She just like, why is she throwing food on her fiance? That guy he really needs to question his life decisions a little bit more. And
spend some time working on himself so his picker can get fixed.
Exactly. I wonder if he's still going to marry her, though. That's the thing. I mean, true love knows no bounds, as they say. So even with psycho chicks like this, just saying.
Yep.
Well, if they do get married, I hope they don't have to buy gas, because New York gas prices. Wow, king of segue. New York gas prices hit record high as inflation slams wallets. So now this is for the whole state. So if you live in particular parts of New York that has transportation like buses and trains and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's
It
right.
can-
New York walks places in a lot of areas, huh?
I do. I try. I don't own a car here, so I want nothing to do with that because you have to park it, you have to pay insurance on it, and you have to keep it maintained. You have to put gas in it, and now the gas was the cheapest part at some point. So gasoline prices throughout the state, the whole state, it's the one when you get into the rural areas, that's where it really hits you. They hit an all-time high with pump costs surging well above record-setting national price tag. In New York City metro area, the average cost of a gallon of regular gas surged to $4.67, the highest on record, with some individual stations charging more than $6. That's according to AAA data. The average prices are up more than $1.50 per gallon versus the same day a year ago. A Shell station employee on the Upper East Side said customer complaints are on the rise alongside the high prices. He said he's been working there, working more than 20 years at gas stations, and he's never seen it that high before. So even in New York City, it's getting ridiculous. Statewide, it's $4.56 a gallon. The average has jumped above the $5 threshold in New York County, but slightly lower in the outer boroughs such as Queens, where it's $4.67, and Brooklyn, my neck of the woods, at $4.64. Now part of that is summer's coming, and that means usually around this time of year, gas prices tend to go up as people start going on vacations and whatnot. But the thing is, it's going up on top of already ridiculous prices to begin with. So it's going to be I can't remember who was that group that did it's a cruel summer, now you've gone, you know what I'm talking about?
Some 90s pop band. I have no idea.
They they did they cover of Venus too. Bananarama, yeah. So you're welcome, whoever wanted to know
music.
that. Bananarama saying it's gonna be a cruel summer, especially if you're driving places. So how's that? How are gas prices out your way? I imagine they're rising over there too.
Do you know anything about, like, because we went to the gas not too long ago, to the gas pump, and I noticed, I always thought that diesel was less than regular gas, but it's starting to look like diesel is starting to get to be more than regular gas prices. But now I'm in California. We've been, around $4 or $5 for about a year now. So, I mean, I think a few months ago, we were getting up to $6 or $7 down in San Diego. So we're happy right now. I think we're at where I live, it's like $4.50 a gallon, somewhere around in between there. So it's not too bad for us right now. We're used to the high prices. I don't think we've seen under $4 a gallon in a really long time. So,
hey, what's up, Sandy? Sandy says $4.45 in New Jersey. Yep. That sounds about right. Well, you think about it too, with the inflation, and you got the supply bottlenecks going on. There's a lot more demand for products, so that means more diesel that they're going to need for trucking, and for some trains too. I think trains use diesel too. Maybe I could be totally wrong on that. Probably am, but and also fuel prices for airplanes is skyrocketing, and that's making airplane ticket prices through the roof. for
And
sure. You know, it's crazy time when it
I
comes
know
to
it was like the
that.
best time to go shopping for vacation and stuff was before the pandemic. If you got tickets before the pandemic, man, you are golden. I got two
I know,
friends
right?
that just got back from a 2-week cruise. They went to England, Ireland, and a couple other states over or countries over there on a cruise for like $1,200 each, and they bought the tickets before the pandemic. So I was like, dang, I'd chew off my left arm for that.
I know, right? If you could a predict the pandemic, two buy your tickets before then for a trip that will possibly be 2 years away, then you'll you'll be
It's like
golden.
winning the lottery, pretty much. Yeah, I know. Impossible.
Right. Well, I mean, if you could predict that far ahead, you could probably predict lottery numbers too, and you know, maybe the point would be moot, and then you just win the lottery, and then you'll be fine. You won't have to worry about it. So,
Hey.
but that kind of thing is starting to hit everywhere. Dollar Tree is you know about Dollar. Do you ever shop at Dollar Tree?
Love
Jimmy? You ever
Dollar
go in there?
Tree, yes, and the 99-cent store.
How much do things cost at Dollar Tree? I forgot. Is it?
It's actually like $1 and then some change because taxes, you know?
I know, but they don't have room on the signs to put dollar and some change tree.
Right.
So they still have to call it the Dollar Tree. And so there's one particular place where dollar. Did you want to do this one? This is a fun one. You
Yeah,
want to do
let's
your?
do
Well,
it.
it's not.
No, I was reading
It's not.
what Robert put in the comment section about the price of the cruise now. You know, I'm not sure. I think he said it was going to be like, I think they were saying like around $3,500, $4,000 now, but I could be wrong. I can ask him today for you if you want.
Wow. For cruise, I give cruises here in New York. I have a rowboat in the Gowanus Canal, and we tour all the dead bodies that are floating in it. You have to provide your own hazmat suit.
Aww.
I know, right? Oh, sole mio. Only the stick that you're using to row the boat is like burnt off from all the chemicals that are in the water. So Dollar Tree, here it is. It's your buddy. And
Look at the T on there is gone.
I know it's the Dollar Ree. Like people are losing their damn minds. So this is in Austin, Texas. What should we just play the video and let the people see? This is
Sure.
Well, let's see. A Dollar Tree store has gone viral on TikTok after video showed messy conditions at that Austin, Texas area location. It's been described as being run by only one employee. And we have video, so let's hopefully this works. And let's take a listen.
Okay, TikTok. So this is Dollar Tree. I'm on Topolis in Austin, Texas. This is what it looks like right now. So this is Dollar Tree. I'm on Topolis in Austin, Texas. Lady was trying to do an interview right now. Lady was trying to do an interview right now. She's the only. She's a manager. She's been working here all day. She's the only person working here. She's been working here all day.
I think you got two of them playing at the same time.
Only worker. Doing this. No shelves, no nothing.
Only worker here.
Only worker. Doing this. No shelves,
She's
no
the only worker here. She's the only worker here. Look at this, guys. It's trash.
She left them to stock this whole store by herself.
Look at this, guys.
All of that.
It's trash.
She left them to stock this whole store by herself.
She left them.
No bathroom breaks.
No breaks. She's like not even supposed to be working right now, but she's been the only reason why they're open. She said she stopped working for 3 days, and that's why the store was closed for 3 days. Left them to stock all this.
Oh,
everything, guys. These people don't even work here, and they're helping her. Look at
Don't
this.
even work there.
Walls of boxes, all by herself. Look at storage room. Filled with boxes.
Leave it.
This is unacceptable. Okay, TikTok. So this is Dollar.
Yeah, so you know,
Yeah,
is the video.
just that woman was doing exactly what she should have been doing, sitting there at the cash register, making sure the customers are served and doing as little as possible because she is not paid enough for that. Hell no. I'm sorry. Who's the owner of the Dollar Tree store and how much money are they making? They can go in there and open up some boxes.
Yeah, it's apparently Dollar Tree is notorious for having high turnover because they don't seem to pay people that well. Maggie, she's the store manager. She says, I went away for 3 days, and that's why the store and they had to close the store for 3 days because she was the only one working. So a few days later, she went back. The Felipe was the one who did the TikTok video, I believe. Went back to the location, which appeared to be closed in the video. In a follow-up TikTok, a person claiming to be a dollar store employee at a different location reached out to Felipe, telling him that they've been in contact with Maggie. According to the screen capture message, the employee says Dollar Tree shut down the location to reorganize the store. Reorganizes. Yeah, they needed to fix that shit. Sending workers to help Maggie revamp the location. I wonder if they did that after the video went viral.
Right. Exactly.
I wonder. Ponder. The sign on the door of the location, which was photographed by local news outlet Austonia, claimed the location was closed to fix the air conditioning unit. Now that, in addition to like cleaning up the apocalypse in there too, did you see those two big blue machine-looking things with tubes coming out? Those are portable.
Yeah, with water coming out the bottom of them.
Yeah, for those who don't know, those are portable air conditioners, and that water is condensation because that's what those things are supposed to be outside, right? And then the tube goes into the building, and then that's how it works because they have a huge one over here across the street at the school, but it's outside because you're going to get that condensation, and that's why the drippy's all over the place.
Yep.
So
right.
dollar stores
Can they form a union at the Dollar Tree store? I think that's what they should do.
They should.
Yeah.
She said, Maggie said she's in a completely better situation now, adding that the manager is reportedly overwhelmed by the attention of those who wanted to get her story out. So, like we said, dollar stores have notoriously high employee turnover rates, which some have attributed to a rise in shoplifting, but it's mostly low wages, among other factors. According to Mashed, the average Dollar Tree salary is $8.17 to $8.26 an hour, with Indeed's self-reported wages putting the current estimate for Dollar Tree cashier wages at $8.44. Earlier this month, another TikTok went viral showing the alleged disparity between Dollar Tree locations in a wealthy community and a low-income neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got to pay people to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
absolutely.
it doesn't work.
Yep. No, this lady should have done less than what she was doing.
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm going to come right back. There's something I need to take care of real quick. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, I absolutely think that she should have just stayed and did what she did because if you actually think about it, like you were saying, the people there aren't getting paid enough. Obviously the people aren't working. I mean, this is the kind of way that we impact the economy, with our workers' rights. Don't go to work. Don't give these corporations, like show these corporations that this is our power. This is what we do. Our power is to, unionize and fight for our rights, which I think is an absolutely exactly, Lana. I want to know the same thing. What are the Dollar Tree profits? I wonder. Which, I mean, I could probably Google really quick if I wanted to. I just don't like to have what they call the silent pause. Makes me nervous. There we go. I'm gonna look up.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'm gonna look up what are the Dollar Tree profits and see what their profits are, because that is a really good question.
They Dollar Tree made news last November for raising the standard cost of items from $1 to $1.25. I know. I mean, Dollar Tree. I don't know. Have you ever seen like dollar stores in any town? How they're able to sell things at relatively lower prices, and that's why a lot of these places are so popular. Is because
Okay,
they
so it's
will take.
headquartered in Virginia. It's a Fortune 500 company, and it operates 15,158 stores, or 15 stores, through 48 continuous U.S. states and in Canada. Their gross profit was $7.73 billion compared to $7.79 billion in the prior year. So their yearly gross profits is around $7 billion.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to pay people just like basically just 1980s wages for that kind of thing. And they get these products too from businesses. A lot of times the businesses are closing. So and they'll the businesses that are closing will sell off their stock at a discounted price. Just to get rid of it, just to make some money off of it. And places like Dollar Tree and others will take advantage of that and are able to bring it into their stores and make a decent profit off of that too. So, just another greedy company. Sorry, exactly. No excuses for paying poop wages.
Exactly.
And they are poop wages too. I mean, even in places where you're like, well, the cost of living is cheap. It's like, no, the cost of living is not cheap anywhere anymore. Those days are over with. Even out in the rural areas, you're still going to pay a pretty decent price for something. So, speaking of out of touch old people.
I love your segues. They're so good.
They're the worst. They're the worst ever.
They're the best.
Well, I mean, okay, so things are happening. We're having financial difficulties here in the United States, but they're also having them in the UK too. And it's a little bit more of a thumb in the eye to people over there when you still have royalty. A king or a queen and a palace and all this gold and stuff that, it's why they still allow them to have, a monarchy. I don't understand. But so anyway, this week, usually the queen gives a speech in the House of Lords to start the parliamentary session, I believe, but the Queen couldn't do it, so Prince Charles had to do it. And he caught a little bit of hell over this. So Prince Charles ridiculed over truly clueless moment during Queen's speech. Britain's Prince Charles yesterday delivered the Queen's speech for the first time after his mother began suffering from what officials called episodic mobility problems. One key moment struck a sour note with many observers. The speech, which marks the formal opening of Parliament, is written by government officials. In it, Charles said the administration would work to help ease the cost of living for families amid economic uncertainties. The comments struck critics as more than a little odd given the setting. Charles, who was decked out in full royal accoutrement, gave the speech while sitting on a gilded throne in a bejeweled setting at the House of Lords. This guy.
His government's priority is to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families. Her Majesty's government will level up opportunity in all parts of the country and support more people into work. Her Majesty's ministers will continue to support the police to make the streets safer and fund the National Health Service to reduce the COVID backlogs. In
There you
these
go.
challenging times, Her Majesty's government will play a leading role in defending democracy and freedom across the world, including continuing to support the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, so he caught some shit over it. These tweets are hysterical. So this is Jeet here, who says, imagine being a grown-ass country and having this as part of your government. Right? You want to, let's see, I simply would have made this announcement from any other room wearing any other outfit. This is a fun one. You want to read this one? Can you read that one? Okay.
The man sits on a golden throne while talking about cost of living is so outrageously beyond parody. I'm not sure even The Onion could add anything further to it. I love Twitter trolls. This is great. Oh.
The optics here are exquisite. No notes.
Yes.
Here we go. The next time Biden gives a speech about reducing cost of living expenses, I want him stepping out of a full life-size Klimt painting diorama wrapped in a golden robe studded with rubies and emeralds. My fellow Americans, he begins, rubies jingling. These type of prices, am I right? That's another thing too. Yeah, it's you know, it's just
it's so great. I got two things to say about that. One, how dare that lady sit where Princess Diana should be? How dare her? I am a team Princess
that's his
Diana.
wife.
I don't care.
That's his legal lady.
She don't belong there. She don't deserve it. That's Diana's spot. And second, could you imagine wanting to do that, being born into royalty, everything's given to you on a silver platter, you've never been told no, you finally get that chance of being on the throne, the one time you've waited your whole life and you're an old man and now you finally got that chance, and everybody on Twitter just bags on you. It's like the greatest thing ever. Like, the irony of it is so awesome. I'm like absolutely in heaven with Twitter and the internet. Thank you for the internet.
It just goes to show how out of touch people are too. Like these elites like this, you know. I think, what was it? Somebody said on Twitter the other day, so can you imagine what rich people would think if they saw poor people on the streets? I'm like, what? They see poor people on the streets all the time. They don't give a shit.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they get hidden from it. I mean, they live in their gated communities and then they take a helicopter to where they go. Or if they take a car to where they go, by the time they get out of the car, there's so much cameras and people around them wanting their autograph that they probably never actually get to see, that stuff. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think like somebody like, the Rothschilds has probably ever seen a poor person.
I don't think they've seen daylight in the last 100 years. They probably like squirreled away in some Bavarian castle up on a mountain, and they don't have TV or internet.
Between Elon Musk being a poor person and then somebody like George Soros seeing a poor person. You know that George Soros would never even put himself in a position to where he could see it, because either he's in his, rich areas where he's gated off, or he's taking a helicopter or a plane somewhere.
Right. It's I don't know. It just still seems like, somebody could tell him, look, here's a picture of a poor person, in case you forgot. Or, right. Oh, wait, why should I show you? You don't really care.
That just shows you how people are in their own little bubbles and they can't see outside of it. I mean, if these rich people don't see poor people, think about what the politicians are thinking when they say that this country is doing so great, and the poor wealthy gap isn't as big of a deal, and they're, the poor people, there's a lot of them and we need to do something, but they don't do anything about it. Like, it's because they're on their own little bubble, and they actually probably don't ever see the act, like down, like in LA, Skid Row and, downtown New York and things like that. They probably never see it. That's probably the truth.
Yeah, I mean they may not physically see it, but they know it's there, and
Right.
they're the main reason why probably most of them are there is because of these crony capitalism and the way it's just it's
Mhm.
it's destroyed this country. I mean, you can
Yeah.
see it like you go to downtown LA, go down to Skid Row, and you just see like pretty much the whole downtown is just taken over by tent cities, and these people have all the means in the world to do something about it. They just choose not to. They keep talking about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and whatnot. Hell, some people can't even, they don't have boots, much less
Yep.
bootstraps. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Exactly. Yep.
Well, we should end this on some good news.
Okay.
Right? I
Yes.
think so there was a plane that that landed without a pilot, and we have a little bit of footage here for you from that.
Sound your alarm bell now.
All right, now everybody, get in crash position.
Wait, hold on. Okay, that's not it.
That's me in the pink dress.
You're a Hare Krishna.
Yeah. I'm planking on stairs like I'm gonna live.
I saw you at the airport selling flowers. Yeah, you were having a good time. No, actually, no, this really happened. So a passenger with no flying experience landed a plane at a Florida airport after the pilot became incapacitated, not decapitated, as some would assume from that seeing that title real
Yes,
quick.
people, read this correctly. Don't read it wrong like I did. He did not lose his head. He was just knocked out.
We were talking about this before we went on. She said, "Yeah, the pilot got decapitated." I was like, "What?" And I said, "No, it's incapacitated, but close. His head didn't work. It was still
Same
attached,
difference.
but
Same difference.
but it just didn't work." So let's check this out.
I've got a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent. I have no idea how to fly the airplane, but I'm in 9100.
The voice you're hearing is not a pilot, but a passenger radioing for help. Audio captured from Live ATC details the communications between the plane, a Cessna Caravan, and the control tower at Fort Pierce in Florida.
Number 333 Lima Delta, Roger. What's your position? I have no idea. I can see the coast of Florida in front of me, and I have no idea.
Air traffic controller Robert Morgan was on break from working in the tower when his colleague said he needed to come back fast.
There's a passenger flying a plane that's not a pilot, and the pilot's incapacitated. So they said we need to try to help them land the plane.
Morgan is a 20-year veteran controller, but also a certificated flight instructor with 1,200 hours flying experience.
What was the situation with the pilot? He is incoherent. He is out. Number 3 Lima Delta, Roger. Try to hold the wings level and see if you can start descending for me. Push forward on the controls and descend at a very slow rate.
Controller Morgan had not flown the specific type of plane, so he pulled up this photo of the layout of the instrument panel and talked the passenger through it step by step.
I knew the plane's flying like any other plane. I just had to keep him calm, point him to the runway, and just tell him how to reduce the power so he could descend to land.
Data from FlightAware shows the flight's path. The first challenge to controllers, locating the flight and pointing the passenger turned pilot to the airport.
3 Lima Delta, maintain wings level and just try to follow the coast, either north or southbound. We're trying to locate you. 10-4, you guys located me yet? I can't even get my nav screen to turn on. It has all the information on it. You guys got any ideas on that? Number 3 Lima Delta, Palm Beach is he's instructed me that you're about 20 miles east of Boca Raton. Just continue northbound over the beach and we'll try to get you some more further instructions.
Morgan's instruction paid off, guiding the flight to a landing at Palm Beach. Aviation experts call it a remarkable feat that left other flights listening in stunned, including a commercial pilot waiting for takeoff.
Did you say the passengers landed the airplane? That's correct. Oh my gosh, no, great job. No flying experience. We got a controller that worked them down. That's a flight instructor.
After the landing, Morgan left the tower and went out to the ramp to meet his newest student pilot that he taught to land without ever getting in the plane.
I just feel like it was probably meant to happen.
Wow. So yeah,
Hybrid work is here, but for
You
some
see the guy's
reason
head?
here,
He has such a nice head. I'm glad he didn't lose it. Just saying.
well, you know, Jimmy, that it was fortunate that things worked out the way they did, because things could have been a lot worse. So, but it would have been a lot easier if they just had this guy in the plane with them. Now, this is what they call an auto pilot. So he's inflatable, and there's a very specific way to inflate him. He has a nozzle around his belt line, and basically you breathe into that nozzle, and then that's why he has a smile on his face, because he's ready to help you fly the plane. Autopilot. Sorry, I had to get those airplane jokes in there. You've never seen the movie Airplane, have you? Listen, if you like dad jokes, and I know you do, you got to watch Airplane. Airplane 2, the sequel, is good. It has William Shatner in it, and he's nutty crazy. But the first one is great. It's the classic line where he says, "Surely you must be kidding," and he says, "Surely you must be joking." He said, "I never joke, and don't call me Shirley."
I've heard that before.
Oh yeah, there's yeah, exactly, Sandy. Those were some awesomely funny movies. I was a kid when I watched those. I watch them now, and I'd just probably be like, oh man,
the cringe.
Like people who are a lot younger today would probably look and go, this is Dad Joke the movie. This is Dad Joke the movie.
Okay.
Don't call me Shirley. That's right.
Leslie Nielsen is in it?
He said, yeah. He's the one they say, we got to get these people to a hospital. And somebody says, a hospital? What is it? He goes, well, it's a large building with a lot of rooms where sick people go. But that's not important. Because
I love his movies. Didn't he did like some kind of like cop movie where the number was like 9 1/4.
Yeah, The Naked Gun, 33 and a third. That was the third one. Yeah, Naked Gun movies. That was actually originally a TV series. It was only like 4 episodes. But yeah, they made Naked Gun, and then the second one, and then the third one. So they had 3 Naked Gun movies. And then Leslie Nielsen just started doing all these silly movies. Yeah. But originally, he was a very serious actor. That's why they got him, and they got like these other like old school actors like Robert Stack and Lloyd Bridges and all these old school. All they did really was serious stuff, and they said, let's put them in a comedy together, and it worked. Yeah, and yes, unfortunately,
I was just going to say that. Yeah,
OJ.
I think that was why I watched it, is because I just came of age around the whole OJ Simpson trial thing, and my mom's like, he was in a movie. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, I heard his comedy just really killed in that movie too. Thank you everybody for showing up. We gotta go because more dad jokes are coming. Sandy and Yona and Lana, good to see you. Holly, who else we got in here? As I go up the pike here, Robert, thank you so much for everybody showing up. Steve Wolfbrandt, good to see you, buddy. Let's see, Kay was here as well. Who else? A lot of folks showed up. I like it. This is our Wednesday fun time. I mean, it wasn't all fun. You got to do some serious stuff too. But we like to. We try to end it on a high note. Jeffrey Denton, thank you so much. Amber, we appreciate everything you do too as well. Dolores, as always, appreciate you as well. And I guess that's it. I'm going to ask you. You know, I'm gonna
I'm
ask you,
pulling
right?
it up right now.
I'm gonna ask you, right? As I
Yes.
stall.
Yes. Okay.
So before we do that, hang on just a second. There's something here. Okay, you know what? Go ahead. Tell us what you got going on.
All right. So everybody check out yesterday's shows for the Modern Money Tuesdays. I think this weekend Joe Firestone interviewed or had Colin, is his name Colin, on his show? Who's that red-haired,
Colin, yeah.
red-haired
Colin.
independent journalist kid from RT? Yeah, him. He had him on his show again. Today, it looks like we've got Cup of Joe again at 8 p.m. Eastern, and in-depth show with Joe Firestone again tonight at 9. Tomorrow we have, looks like, Dump the Incumbents, and Friday we don't have anything. If anybody wants a show idea or has a show idea, please get a hold of us and let us know.
So tomorrow night, Extra Bulla Live. We're gonna try to do it at 9 p.m. Few folks that haven't been on before, so we do a little. I call it potluck. We get on there and just talk about various things. So to be announced the guest list for that, and then sometime during the week around midnight. I don't really know beforehand. I usually only know about 15 to 20 minutes before it actually goes down. Extra Bulla secret show with Chicken City on there. I think Chicken City is now my official or unofficial co-host. It's just a live stream of chickens at this coop somewhere, and it's great. But one thing I want to announce to the cats and kitties out there that you and I have been doing together.
Yes. Thank you. Plug us.
So now Extra Bulla has merch, but we're kind of expanding too. Miss Jimi has been so kind as to offer her services to help me out. So we got merch. We got crazy cool stuff here. Want to pimp that. So we got the my slogan on the show at the night. When I say good night, I say wash your ass. You know, because I want everybody to have a clean butt. And so she made this design. It's a donkey, and he's taking a bath. What kind of witchcraft is this? And then on the back is my logo there, and all the channels you can find me on when I'm doing the show. And this one is my favorite, though. This one has got to be my favorite. The alpaca bowl. Alpaca, you get it? You get it? It's gonna Pat you smoking that weed. And so this is tie-dye, and then you got this groovy Extra Bulla hippie logo on the back. So yeah, let me put the link in the description in case anybody wants it.
Yep. I'm always into drawing things, so if anybody has ideas and stuff, let us know, and we can start making merch about or with ideas. I love to draw, so come up with anything. I'm all for it. It's super fun.
Now, also, you know, she's doing stuff for me, but she's also doing stuff for herself. So watch this space, because you're going to see a whole line of Jimi stuff through Image Productions, which I'm looking forward to seeing what she puts up there. You know, help us out. It's our way of you know, it's a way of mutual aid in a way, if you think about it. You know, if you can afford it, that's great. If not, just you know, tell people about it. We appreciate it. You can find me the easiest thing to do, I have a link tree / Extra Bulla, and that's where all my goodies are. And W Dearman, oh, they went away for a second. I'm W Dearman. No, you're all right. I thought it was magic and I made it disappear. That's me on Twitter. So if you ever want to hook us up, and Jimi Saves World on Twitter as well. So that's it.
And I want to say really quick, thank you, Fran. I guess the in-depth show with Caleb Maupin, not Colin. His name is Caleb Maupin. He's going to be on Joe's show tonight. So Thank you for that,
Gonna be
Dolores
cool.
and Fran, for helping me out with remembering that. There you go.
Over budget today, so I thought we were going to be short today, but you know, we're a couple of chatty Cathy, so we can make things stretch. That's pretty nice. So
I'm cool with it. Yep.
Right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I will see you guys on here next week. Come watch me tomorrow night on Extra Bola. I'll put the word out. You'll see it. And hope you have a great day. It's War Deer. Yes, that's right. The mystery is solved. So Uncle Warren is War Deer. War Deer is Uncle Warren.
Yes.
Check your local listings.
Robert,
Have a
yes,
great day.
we have I have graphics for Dump the Incumbents. I have some graphics for Red Berets, and I also have some graphics for Kerberos Media. We just haven't gotten the site published yet. We're waiting to do all the legal stuff for the organization, getting a debit, credit card, all of that fun stuff before we actually get it published. So yes, we are working on it. We're just waiting for the, some of the people who can deal with the financial part of it to come in and help out. That's all.
Cool.
All
right, guys. Have a great day. Be good to each other. We'll see you later. All right.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye.